What's up, squeegee slingers and water-fed pole wiggling wagglers, and welcome back to the Tradman Academy YouTube channel. Today we've got this lovely property to do in a place called Elgin. So we've got the ground floor, first floor and a top floor up there to do. And look who we've got joining us today. Trad girl! Hey! We are both recovering from having COVID.
Battle stations! Battle stations!
We think we both got it at the Stoneleigh window cleaning show, so thanks very much to anybody who did that. Eh?
Boo!
Boo! Whoever.
No more free hugs.
I know, well, I blame Trad Girl because she was hugging everyone, just about, and handshakes, where I was being very Scotsman-like and just ignoring everyone. So she must have got COVID and then given it to me. So I'm going to head around the back. I've got some water-fed pole work to do. Now, the pole I'm using is an Unger Nlite pole. We're going to be using this extension pole here to take this from being able to do the sort of up to 30 feet, takes it up to about 40, just over 40 feet roughly, to get those skylights up there. And then I'll do the first floor as well with the water-fed pole. Now, I've already done this as a traditional clean before, so all the sort of the deep clean, the nooks and crannies have all been cleaned traditionally. So now, as a once-a-month maintenance clean, we're using the water-fed pole for the high-level stuff and then doing traditional on the ground floor. So I'm going to pop this camera on my noodle and then you can see what I'm doing and what I'm using. Right then, so just so you can see the current setup, folks, we've got the Unger Hydro unit. We've got that plugged into the mains at the moment. So that's just a single, I think it's a 6-litre Unger Hydro unit that we're using. Because in Scotland the water is really, really soft. It's below 40 parts per million. So we only need a very small DI unit to be able to filter the water down to 0. Now obviously if you live in a hard water area, you'll need something a bit more substantial. There are the 2 or 3 tier versions of this as well, or you might indeed need an RODI system if the water is particularly hard where you live. But because of where I live, I'm very blessed. I've got very good water, so I only require this. And then I've got 100 meters of hose on a very good heavy-duty reel. Now this equipment only comes out for really bigger jobs, things I'm going to be using the water-fed pole for a little while on. And that saves me having to carry around large quantities of water in the van. It's very simple, plug and play and away you go. So we'll just follow the hose round here back to our water-fed pole. It's all hooked up, ready to go. Now I have regular tap connections for everything, so it's all universal. It all fits onto garden taps and customers taps, so everything is universal fit, click and play. So to use this extension, what we need to do is it fits in the bottom of our pole just in here, which we'll just show you, but you have to extend the pole first for this to work, and then this end clicks into the bottom. So let's show you that now. So we'll extend the pole up. I better angle the brush head down as well since we're going to be doing skylights. So I'm just open the angle adapter up, put it down so that it's at a right angle, so then we can clean those Velexes properly. All right, must remember to do that, otherwise it'll be at the wrong angle and it'll be no use. Right, let's extend that up. So these clamps are nice and easy to use. So you can use one finger to open them and one finger to close. I like my clamps fairly tight, although you don't need it to be because this pole doesn't spin anyway because of the shape of the Unger Nlite. It's really good. And with this pole, I prefer to use it. You can use it either way round, but it's shaped where it's round at this end, but it tapers down round this side. So I prefer the round edge of the pole into the palm of my hand, and the tapered edge goes into my fingertips, which is more comfortable for me. Right, so that is the pole extended. So I'm just going to lean that up against the building for now. Now it's not quite long enough, so what we need is our extension here. So the way Unger have designed it is that each extension takes you up another floor. So they're trying to keep it as simple as possible. So if you need one more floor, then you need one of these, and so on and so forth. And you add more of these on, the more floors you want to go up. All right, so what we'll do is, let's just quickly show you the end of this. Now you can see there's a groove in the end of this extension. So that is where your pole hose is going to sit. So you can just click this on, all right? So we'll just feed that up into there so you can see how the hose is going to sit. Now you have to forgive the condition of this pole. It's been fairly battered over the last year and a half or so. So it's not in the prettiest condition. So these pins here, you just push that in like that, and then that slides up the pole. If I can, there we go. And then the pins come through the bottom of the main pole there and there. That's completely secured and ready to go. And the pole hose is run inside of the main pole until you get down to the extension, and then the pole hose comes out of here and then just dangles on the floor. Now I have a univalve inside of this pole, so I can just pull on this hose and then the water will start, and if I pull it again then the water will stop. Okay, so that is giving me plenty of reach there. So we've got the one extension plus the main pole itself, which the main pole can get up to about 30 feet, but we need just a little bit more for this job. Okay, so that is it on the Velux, as you can hopefully see on camera, and I'll just pull on the hose there like that, and there we go, the water has started. So I know you probably won't be able to see awfully too much, because on the GoPros things do seem rather far away than they actually do to the human eye in real life, but that is the water going and scrubbing that Velux down. And the little thing that I do with the Waterfed pole as well is something that Squeaky Clean Dave taught me as well. It's a little trick of the trade, is if you want to start and stop your water and the pole's already extended, rather than having to pull on the hose with your hand every time, you can just stand on the hose, lift the pole up, and that will start and stop your water. So a little trick from Squeaky Clean Dave there over on YouTube. So there we are. So that's that one nice and clean. If the Velux is quite high up, then I don't tend to lift the pole up and try and rinse it holding the pole, because it puts a lot of strain on your body. So one thing you can do is, if you've got the edge of the building or the gutter there, is lean the pole against that gutter like that. And you can see I'm just using literally, I could do that with 2 fingers. I'm holding the pole with 2 fingers and I'm leaning it against the gutter and using that as the pivot point to lift the brush up and give the Velux a rinse. So hopefully you can see that there. So that saves me having to try and lift the pole off of the glass to give it a rinse, if you prefer to do it like that. So just lean it on the edge of a building, the edge of a gutter, use that as your pivot point to lift the brush head up, and you can do that very, very easily. And that'll save your neck and your back. Okay, so we've done that one. Now to lift it from Velux to Velux, a little trick I do, which I was taught many moons ago, which is to use your knee as a pivot point. So put your knee on top of the pole like that. Hopefully you can see there. So my knee's on top of the pole, and I'm going to pull the pole against my knee to pull the brush up and off of that window. So rather than using my back muscles or shoulder muscles to pull the pole up, which can get quite heavy at more extreme lengths, use your leg as like the anchor point to pull the pole against. So my foot is on the floor, it's dug into the floor, the bottom of the pole is against my knee, and then I'm just going to pull up. I might actually, just to prove a point, I'm going to pull up with 2 fingers. There we go, 2 fingers to pull the pole up, because I'm using my knee as a leverage point, and then just put that against there. Okay, so another little trick when using long poles is just use your knee as that anchor point to pull the pole against and lift it up and off of windows like this. Just save your neck and your back. So we don't actually need the extension for this next set of windows here. So I'll show you taking the extension off. It's nice and simple. So what we're going to do is bring our brush back over and just lean it against the building like that. All right, so I've let go of the pole. It's nice and safe. It's not going to go anywhere. So with our pins here, I'm just going to push that button in there, and literally just pull the extension out. There we are. And you can set that aside, because I won't need that until around the front. Okay, now we're back to using our main pole again, and we can just lower that down to the required height. So probably only need maybe 2.5 sections out there really to get to the top of there, no problem. Right, so obviously my brush is at the wrong angle now, because it was set for doing those skylight windows. So I'm just going to lower the pole down here. Make sure the bottom end is not going to hit anything, and just lower that pole down like so, and then put it back at maybe about there roughly. So we'll try it there. So come to the back of the pole, just keeping the bottom of the end of the pole down, put one hand on there, And one hand just to lift it up, and then lift the pole straight up. Try and make it as easy as possible for the body. Okay, so pulling on the hose, activate the univalve again, and just giving that frame a clean. Now, these windows here are actually not as high as it might seem. I have done these windows traditionally on the ladder before, but because I've already done the initial deep clean off the ladder, then these particular windows actually come up really nicely using the water-fed pole system. So I just do these windows up here with the water-fed, and then do the lower ones traditionally. Well, Trad Girl's doing all the low stuff for me today, so that's very kind of her. And just clean the underside of here, like that. And then inside of here as well, make sure we get all these sides nice and clean, any spider webs out. Now the only thing I find that's a bit tricky with the water-fed pole system is when you come across spider nests tucked in corners and things, they can be very difficult to get them out. And sometimes you really do actually just need to get up there and get it out with a damp microfiber cloth, or if you can access them from inside. But then again, it depends on the service you offer, and if your client really has requested that kind of level of service, they might not be too fussed about spider nests tucked off in corners of frames and things. But if that is something that you aim to get rid of, then unfortunately the water-fed pole sometimes can struggle to get rid of things like that. So just be aware of that you might need to pop up on the ladder to get rid of things like that. So just giving that a nice rinse down. The great thing about working off the mains as well is I can adjust the pressure. So I've only got the tap on about a quarter of the way. So if I want a bit more pressure, obviously I just open up the tap a bit more. Now in most places, most towns, the water pressure is normally really good. I don't normally have an issue with pressure. The only time where I start struggling to get enough pressure through the Unger Hydro is out in the countryside, right off in the sticks, where water pressure can be an issue. So Try Girl, what tools are you rocking today?
I am rocking a couple of squeegees.
A couple of squeegees. Very, very precise. Aha! Oh, okay.
That one's a bit floppy.
You got a floppy squeegee, have you? Well, keep that to yourself.
Using this one.
A 6-inch.
6-inch.
That's a cracking little squeegee. It's a really good squeegee, that.
With the.
A lot of people have been asking me about this. Well, how do you find this? It's the Maker handy sleeve with the, it's got the military grade Velcro, I believe they say. And then your microfiber cloth kind of sticks to it. See? So it sticks to it. So we use this for frames. We can put this on the pole and give the frames a clean. So are you liking that tool?
I do.
Pros, cons, anything you don't like?
It's chunky at the end.
It's quite chunky, yes.
So it's hard to get into a corner.
It's hard to get into the corner.
To, you know, those pesky little spiders.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, you generally can make it work.
Yeah.
So it's really good. Yeah.
Oh, that's good.
It's handy for definitely pole work.
Yes, I think any frames that are flat like these, it works particularly well on, doesn't it? It struggles to get into little nooks and crannies. But apart from that, it's pretty good. I find the only thing it struggles with sometimes is shaped frames like this. So like you've got this gap in here in between this frame, so the Maker handy sleeve won't really clean in that very well, does it? So that's the only downside to it, is doesn't get into tight spaces very well.
No.
So yeah, if somebody wants to come up with a frame cleaner that can do sort of flat surfaces well, a thinner one, or one that can just be squeezed and pushed into narrow crevices.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Like a spongy kind of.
Yeah, something like that. You know, because look, there's dirt, there's spider droppings in here. We want to be able to clean that as well on a pole.
A sponge on a pole.
Yeah.
I'll get my sellotape
Well,
out.
we don't want to do DIY. We want proper professional quality products. So,
Send
but
them
yeah.
our way.
Yes, indeed.
Sponges on poles.
Sponges. Yeah, the Sponginator.
The sponge.
Yeah. Yeah, I think there's a company that we know of that would probably use a name like that. Right, I'm going to crack on and make a mess of your windows. Okay, Trad Girl? All right. Oh, oh my goodness, it is chucking it down, folks. It is chucking it down. Oh, I need rubber rings and an armband. I can't swim.
You promised me a shower.
I did.
Got one?
I didn't want one myself. Oh my goodness me. Wow, the dedication. We kept cleaning even despite the rain. Wow, that's wet. I think I'm wetter than you. Yeah, you've stayed pretty dry. I didn't get my hood up quick enough.
No.
Oh, well, that's that job done. So using the Unger Nlite pole mainly. You were traditionally cleaning the ground floor for us and the doors and things like that. So that saves any puddles of water being outside the customers' doors and things. So
Yeah, well,
nice and dry.
You say that, but
Well, now it's raining. Now it's raining, so there will be puddles. Not caused by us.
No,
puddles.
natural
Natural puddles. So that's fine. So yeah, pretty happy with that job. 3 stories done and in good time, nice and easy with that Unger Nlite pole and the brush and stuff and the hydro. So I'll leave the links to what I was using today in the description below. If you've got any questions about what I was using, techniques, anything like that, feel free, put that in the comments box below and I'll get back to you as quick as I can. But once again, Trad Girl, thank you very, very much for your help.
You're welcome.
This morning, even though it's gone back to normal Scottish weather and we got soaked, but at least it's warm and wet. It's
warm.
It's not cold.
It is warm.
It's quite as we say, a muggy kind of day, isn't it?
This is definitely English weather, I think.
Yes.
Warm and wet.
Warm and wet.
Yeah.
So there we go. Excellent, folks. Hope you've enjoyed the video. Any questions, fire them down below. You take care, be good, and remember, keep on squeegee slinging. Ah!